When you talk about involvement and influence, does that mean that employees are going to be telling leaders how to run the organization?
No, it's not about employees deciding what is to be done in an organization. It's the responsibility of the administration to figure out what needs to be accomplished. But involvement and influence is about being able to engage employees in how they'll do their own job. Of course, some jobs are very regulated without room for a lot of involvement or influence. But for most roles, it makes good business sense to involve employees in doing the work in the best way possible for them. Involvement is also going to increase job satisfaction. It's going to allow learning from those on the front lines about better ways of getting things done.
Okay. I also understand that the standard requires involvement. Can you talk about that?
Sure. The National Standard of Canada on Psychological Health and Safety in the Workplace has the participation of employees at all levels as one of its main components. And the involvement of employees is really critical to success because you can't have a psychologically healthy and safe workplace without the involvement of the employees. If your organization's focus is just top-down, where you've got great policy and really fancy values written on a wall, but there's no action, you're missing out. Having a psychologically healthy and safe workplace comes down to the way we treat each other on a daily basis. That's why the involvement and influence of employees, all employees, is so important.
So this factor looks at the workplace as a whole, while promoting the fact that we care about employees and we want them to be involved. That sounds like it's not going to cost the organization any money.
Well, committing to this does cost time, and of course time is money, but it doesn't require an additional budget. It just requires some effort.
What's your opinion about employee surveys? I think it would be important to only ask for an employee's feedback if the organization is prepared to take action on that feedback, correct?
I agree. I think that if we're not prepared to act on it, then don't ask. If we're asking employees to take their time and make the effort to provide feedback, it should be on something that's actually within the scope of the employee's ability to influence. Things that you can actually, as an employer or team leader, respond to. And don't leave the employees feeling like they made the effort to give their feedback and then it's ignored.
What I'm hearing you say is that before an organization even considers conducting a survey, they should be prepared to respond immediately to show the employees that they've been heard, that what they've said matters. If you're doing a survey because you want to know what your employees think, you've got to spend some time figuring out how to implement what it is that they're saying, because their ideas will vary.
For instance, if you're asking about the employee awareness of stigma around mental health, and it comes back to you that they think it's quite significant, you need to be aware of how you're going to respond. Would it be with education and awareness? Would it be that you're going to respond with a change to your return to work or accommodation process? Or might it be that you're going to be prepared to respond by doing something around harassment or bullying? It's really important that you've explored the possibilities and you have potential action plans ready to respond to the stated employees' concerns.
I was reviewing the psychosocial factors and thinking that leaders should sit down and look at those in advance of conducting a survey. This lets them identify where their organization already has plans in place, as well as where preparation and action may be needed.
Right. With an engagement survey, leaders should have thought about ways to engage employees, but they then base their actual response on the feedback that they've received. Preparation and engagement from the very start is key. Organizations shouldn't wait for 6 months to review survey data before they decide what they could be prepared to do about it. This way, when the survey is completed, the organization can move forward and efficiently and effectively show they're taking steps and that the survey information mattered.
So what does a workplace with strong involvement, and influence look like?
Solid involvement and influence in a workplace would have employees that are included in discussions about how their work is done and how important decisions are made. It's transparency wherever possible, and there's great employee satisfaction and engagement, and people are taking an active role in addressing challenges at work. There's positive employer and labor relationships. That's what good engagement looks like.